Hey you folks, today we're going to do something a little bit different. It's very simple though. It's a smoked mackerel and goat cheese tartlets served with some pickled gooseberries. Here we go. So our ingredients for this tartlet, they're all nice and simple. We have, from the burren smokehouse, some lovely smoked Irish wild mackerel, some St Tolas goatcheese, that's an ashlag, really beautiful. We're going to use some Connemara Seaweed salt. So these ones are all from the burren food trail. Absolutely delicious. Then I've just made some short crust pastry. I've had it in the fridge there for about an hour. That's basically 110 grams or 4 ounces of flour and 2 ounces of shortening. So that would be any kind of fat. So I've just used butter in this. And then just a few tablespoons of water just to bring it together. 2 eggs, 100 mils of milk. And that's basically it. So first, we're just going to roll out our short crust pastry. So that's my pastry rolled out. It's about a millimetre or a millimetre and a half thick. It's really quite thin on the bottom. So I'm just going to get this into muffin tins that I have greased and floured, so it's non-stick. I should have enough pastry here for about 3 of those. So as you can see, I have my pastry rolled out and I put it into these muffin tins which are already floured and greased. So as you can see, it doesn't have to be too tidy around the edges. Once it cooks, that's going to shrink in, and then we're going to tidy that up at the end with a knife. Basically, we just taper it off. So I've just got some parchment paper and some ceramic beans. Basically, we're going to blind bake these, and that's just going to help our pastry keep its shape. It's going to cook it a little bit for us because we don't want the bottom to rise up in the middle of cooking when we put our custard in there. If you don't have ceramic beans, some uncooked rice will work perfectly. So that's going to go into the oven there for about 10 minutes at 180. So while that's in the oven, we're just going to make our royale mix, which basically is like a savoury custard. So we're just going to use the 2 eggs, some of the milk, a little bit of seasoning, and then we're going to break up some of the St Tolas goatcheese log in there also. So we've got our royale mix done, and now we're just going to crumble in this lovely goat cheese. You can put a nice amount in there. It'll just melt into your royale mix beautifully once it's cooking. Also, we're going to season that with some of the Connemara Seaweed salt. So I've got about a teaspoon in there, which is plenty. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of ground black pepper in there also. So now I've just taken my tartlet cases out of the oven. As you can see, it's just kind of nicely brown around the edges. You don't want it any more than that because it is going to go back into the oven after all. So we can just take these ceramics out, and you can just see how it's just kept the bottom nice and low and level, and that will be throughout these other 2 as well. So we're going to let that cool down just a little bit, and then we're going to add our royale mix in there and our mackerel. So now I'm just going to crumble this lovely burren smokehouse mackerel in there. You don't have to break it up too much. I'm just going to let it sit up like that because I want to see a little bit of the mackerel come out of the royale mix as well. And now we'll just add in our royale mix. And now I've just bringing my oven down to 160 degrees Celsius, and they're going to go in there for about, say, 15 to 16 minutes, I would imagine. So now we're just out of the oven. As you can see, they've nicely kind of puffed up there. They will settle down in a couple of minutes, so it'll fall into itself. Now the edges, as you can see, are still a little bit rough. So we're just going to taper those edges with a knife. And there you are. So as you can see, still nice and rustic. I've just literally just sawed the sides of the pastry. Just take the rougher edges off. So I'm just going to gently remove these from the tin. They will come up quite easily, as you can see, but just be really gentle because you don't want to break them now at this stage. So just slide out. Because of the way we've treated the inside layer here with the flour and the greasing, they'll come out simply. And now we're just going to add our nice pickled gooseberries to the top. So those pickled gooseberries are just going to add a little sweet and sour taste just to cut through a little bit of the mackerel. Just going to finish off with a little bit of freshly chopped parsley and that's it. St Tolas goatcheese and burnt smokehouse mackerel tartlets.